Hello everyone. I'm North Hempstead Town Supervisor Judy Bosworth, and I, along with our town board, are proud to present At Home with North Hempstead, a series of special programs for children, seniors, as well as entertainment for residents of all ages. I hope you enjoyed this special presentation and check back often for new content.
Hello, this is Chef Matt. Welcome to the cooking lab. Let's cook together. Today some baked donuts. Donuts, great recipe. Everybody loves donuts, fried donuts, baked donuts, but baked donuts is always easier to make at home. So to make those donuts, you will need about 4 tablespoons of soft butter. Soft butter. Make sure that this butter is soft before you at room temperature before you start this recipe. You will have a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. You will have 1/3 of a cup, packed cup of brown sugar, okay, and 1/2 cup of granulated regular sugar. Then you will need 2 eggs. We will need about 3/4 teaspoon of salt. You will need a teaspoon of vanilla, about 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and finally 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And when we mix all of this together, we will have a cup of milk, whole milk, and about 2 cups and 2/3 of a cup of flour. Now, for our cooking purposes, we will need a donut pan. If you don't have a donut pan, you can always use a muffin pan and just roll an aluminum foil to put in the center of your pan, and that will just do the trick. And then a pastry bag. If you don't have a pastry bag, of course you can use a Ziploc bag that will work very well. All right, so let's start. We will use a big bowl to start mixing our ingredients. Let's do it. So I'm putting the soft butter in the bowl, and I'm going to mix it with the oil. That will be my fat content, and I'm going to add my sugar. So my packed 1/3 of a cup of sugar and my granulated sugar. So I'm going to use a whisk. My whisk is going to be my best friend in this recipe. You start mixing gently. Okay. If you have a hand mixer, you could use it. Just be aware that it will eventually splash everywhere. Now, at the beginning, you will see everything gets stuck in your whisk, but you have to be patient. Eventually, the sugar is going to dissolve with the oil and the butter. Just make sure you crush. At some point, if you really have too much, you empty and you start over. And then suddenly you will see in very few seconds, it's gonna start melting. And you're gonna start getting this nice little paste, like a pomade, more than anything. And you just have to mix. You see how it starts turning into this nice little paste. Now, in this recipe, what you have to make sure is always, well, it's the same for all recipes, always clean the side of your bowl, okay? You don't want to have anything left. There, voila. Now, in it, we are going to add our eggs one at a time. 1, 2. Make sure there are no shelves. And now I'm going to beat the egg. I'm not focusing on anything. I want to break this white. So I'm just going to mix that white very, very, very quickly. Just like if I was doing an omelette. And when I see that this white is kind of broken, now I'm mixing everything together. All right. Now, to this, we need to flavor everything. So a little bit of vanilla will do the trick. We have a little bit of salt. Again, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. You mix gently. Very good. Now, to get it together, we are going to add our flour and our milk, but we have to add it a little bit at a time, otherwise it's going to splash all over. So we're gonna start with a little bit of milk. You do this in 4 times. Just make sure you incorporate the milk nicely, and then a little bit of the flour. Again, make sure you clean the side of your bowl. And as soon as the flour is incorporated, you add a little more milk. Don't put too much at a time. Again, it's easier to incorporate with small quantities versus too much. A little bit more milk. A little bit of sugar, flour. So go slowly here. The more you add, you don't want to end up with flour all over the kitchen. Voilà. A little bit of milk. Flour. Aye. So these dough start coming back together very nicely. My oven has reached 425 degrees. Very important to preheat your oven, 425 minutes. This donut is going to cook very fast. It's going to take about 9 to 10 minutes maximum. So this is my last adding. Again, you see how I'm going slowly, gently, and then eventually you can go faster. I have a nice smooth batter. Just make sure you clean up the side of your bowl. And we have this magnificent dough, donut dough, ready to bake. Voila. So now it's time to pipe the donut batter inside this mold. So what I did is I just sprayed some cooking spray, very lightly so it doesn't stick to my pan. And then this, what you want to do when you use a bag, you kind of clear up the top, okay? And so like that, you can close your bag properly. You make a C shape, put it like it's like a glass, and now you kind of put some strength, you know, in your finger, and to keep it open. And now, very gently, carefully, I'm going to drop some of my dough, of my batter. Don't overfill your bag. Again, if you don't have a pastry bag, a Ziploc bag works very well. Voila. And when you filled up, don't overfill, because you really want to keep this pastry bag as clean as you can. Whatever's left, put it down. Just put it like this, twist, and then to cut it, if you got a hole that is a little too small, you're gonna be in trouble, because you need the butter to really come out. What is very important in this process, you only need one layer, okay? One layer. Don't fill up to the top. Just fill one layer, and that's about it. It's going to inflate and be good. If you put way too much, it's going to inflate so much that you're not going to have the hole anymore. So you lose the purpose of the donut. So I'm gonna cut a nice fair, let's do this like that, a nice fair hole. It's about the size of my thumb, and let's type this. So again, one layer, just one layer. You right up and you block. Let's do it again. One, you block. So with this recipe, you should be able to make at least 18 donuts. Okay? So voilà, and the last one. Voilà. I keep this. So this, I'm going to put it in the oven, okay, 425, and I'm gonna check it at 8-9 minutes, okay? So while our donuts are baking in the oven, remember, don't forget the timer, we are going to prepare the icing. We are going to make a nice icing. Maybe we use some food coloring. We are going to make some rainbow sprinkled donut. This will be fun. How you do that? You will need about 1 cup and a quarter of confectioner sugar. You will need 1 tablespoon of melted butter, about 2 tablespoons of milk, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. And of course 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup. If you have some food coloring, go crazy, choose your favorite color, and I use some rainbow sprinkles. If you have some chocolate sprinkle, use your favorite one. All right, so this is how we're going to do it. We will first mix in our sugar. We are going to mix the butter, okay, melted butter, and then I'm going to add my vanilla, and I'm going to add I have 1 tablespoon of corn syrup. Now, 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to start by adding just half of my milk. So I'm gonna start 1 tablespoon, okay? About half. And now what I wanna do is making sure I'm weighting my sugar. It's gonna take time to dissolve, okay? Take your time. At first it's gonna be thick, but then eventually, as soon as this sugar gets wet, it's going to start forming the glaze. Now again, make sure you clean the side of your bowl, okay? Now this frosting is great because it's going to harden pretty quickly, and it's really nice. It's easy to play with. Now, for the glaze, it's very important, okay? Keep that in mind, that your donut is cold, okay? Make sure your donut is cold, because otherwise the glaze is going to run over. This is not going to be pretty. All right, so look, this seems a little too thick. So I'm going to add the rest of my milk, and that should do just the trick. Voilà. Very nice. Now it's nice and smooth, you see. Very good. Very nice. All right, so when we have that, I'm going to check on my donut about the 8-minute mark. And what you will do is grab a nice little paring knife or any blade, and you will just poke it nicely in the center. Your blade shall come clean. If it comes clean, then that's it. Your donut is ready. Let's check them out. Our donuts are baked through. You need to let them cool down for 2-3 minutes, and then look, up they come out on their own. Look, they're beautiful, nicely shaped. So this is what I'm going to do. I transferred my glaze in 3 different bowls. I'm going to do some add some coloring. So I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna add a little bit of neon green, and why not? And this one, let's see, a little bit of looks like pink. When you do coloring, always do 1 drop at a time. You can always add, okay? Now let's see this color. That looks pretty. Voilà. Nice. You can actually a little more. Tuck. That's nice. And then let's do our pink. Very nice. So the glaze is ready to receive the donuts. Again, the donuts need to be cool, okay? You cannot have warm donut in there. I'm going to get rid of this spoon. Leave some space for the donut. All right, so this is what you're gonna do. You have, I have some sprinkles. I'm going to put right next like this. And very delicately, okay, very delicately, you are going to drop your donut in. You push in a little bit, about halfway through, and then very gently you turn it, okay? And up, you lift it, and look, you have nice glaze, and we are going to just drop them in the rainbow. And look at this, here is your first donut. Put it on the rack like this, so eventually some extra glaze or the rainbow are coming down. I'm going to try that pink one. Again, I'm pushing, I'm turning, and I'm lifting. Look at this beautiful glaze. Very nice. I want to try that white one. Pushing, turning. Very nice. Tac. Et voilà. Another white like this. If you see that, oh, it doesn't stick enough, just add a little bit. You have to leave it time to spread nicely. It's gonna spread nicely, naturally. It's gonna look good. It's going to look good. Now, when you have a full tray of donuts, again, don't hesitate, be creative. You have so many things you can add to decorate your donuts. And then, et voila! Here are your donuts for the family. Nice snack. Ooh, I want to be on that one. Et voilà! Here are some great little recipe, easy to make, and you are going to have such a great time. Happy cooking, and I will see you very soon at the Cooking Lab.